Hello and welcome to Learning by Programming Hangman. This video is about making choices in Java, and I hope this is gonna be easier than in real life. So, recap first. Last video we learned about a very important concept. Software development process basically means the process to develop a software, a program, a feature, or in this case, a game. So it has 4 phases: planning, designing, implementing, maintaining. We also learned about activity diagram to support the designing phase and variables to support the implementing phase. So what we got out is an activity diagram. You can see it here. It's like the instructions for the program. And we also declare and use variables. Here is the variables. Basically means like the ingredients for our program. So based on that, today we're going to check users' guess using if-else statements. We're going to go over the process, software development process again to create the feature. The first phase, planning phase. What features do we want here? We want to check the user's guess, and then we want to print the result, right? Just to see what is the result of the checking. So, but this thing is not very clear because check user's guess, then check with what? So we want to check the user's guess with the mystery word, right? Basically, this means comparing the guess letter with the mystery word. So the same thing can be said about print result, because print result is not very clear, because what results do we want to print here? We want to print right or wrong, depends on, comparing guess letter with mystery word. So what we want is if guess letter equal mystery word, then we print good guess, or else we print unlucky. So we already clarified the plan that we want, the features that we want. But there is one redundancy here, because comparing guess letter with mystery word basically means the same thing as if guess letter equal mystery word, right? So we cross out the first line and we're left with something pretty neat and very clear. If guess letter equal mystery word, we're going to print out good guess, or else we print unlucky. So the plan is clear. Now we're going to design the feature, model the feature, or using the activity diagram, right? So because we already learned about activity diagram in our last video, this time I want you to pause the video right here and go try using the knowledge that you have gained and draw an activity diagram for the features that we want here, right? This has something pretty new, and you might have to think out of the box a little bit, but just try it out, and I'm going to check it later. So here is my activity diagram I've drawn now. And you can see first thing, that's guess letter equal mystery word. If yes, then we're going to print right. If no, we're going to print wrong. So you get the idea, pretty clear. But there are some small problems here. The most important thing is guess letter equal mystery word is not an action, so we cannot use the box for it, right? The same, because if you remember from our last video, the box can only be used for actions. So the same thing can be said about the yes and no boxes. So we need some twisting for this. What I'm going to do is, instead of using guess letter, using box for the comparing thing, I'm going to use a diamond. Professional term for this is a decision node. And with this, we have the program to choose between 2 directions. When this thing is true, then it's going to do this. When this thing is false, just going to do this. Again, so also change the box of the true and false box. So what we have here is the finished activity diagram for the features that we want in our program. But the next question, where to put it? So let's take a look at the activity diagram of the game we had from our last video and try to answer the question, when do we want to check the guest letter when we want to compare it with the mystery word? After we already scan it, right? So I'm just gonna put the activity diagram here, and we're gonna have the finished activity diagram for our new program, new game. And now we're gonna implement it. So take a look at the activity diagram for the feature. The first thing we want to implement is the comparing thing, right? So we need a comparing tool. We cannot use the equal operator anymore because it's already used for assigning value, if you remember from our last video. So basically, when the computer reads this line, what it's gonna do is gonna try to find the value of the mystery word, which basically is the string I, and it's gonna assign that or set that value to the guest letter variable here. So we need to think of a new tool here, and what we have is the double equal operator using to compare the two variables on the left and on the right. Not only variables, but you can use for other stuff as well, but basically that's it. So normally this operator is used to compare two numbers, but in this case we're gonna try to use it to compare two variables and try to see what happens. Okay, next thing we need to implement is the two choices that we want to have, the decision making thing. So we need the decision making tool, and let's first take a look at the features that we want, right? We want if guest letter equal mystery word. We use the double equal sign here. We're going to print good guess, else we're going to print unlucky. So the tool is pretty straightforward, just like this, with some twisting. We need two brackets to around the condition, and two semicolon here. And I'm just gonna let you remember the way we used to print a string out on the console screen. So now we already have all the tools. Let's go ahead, pause the video, and try things out. Alright, so let's try to implement all the features that we want. The first one, we want to compare the guest letter with mystery word. Guest letter equal mystery word. Next one, we wanna make decision. So if this thing is true, we're gonna print out. This is the way to print out a string. A string is good guess, and let's just print it out on the console screen, right? Else we're gonna print another string. The other string is unlucky. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. But you can see there is a warning sign here with a light bulb. It says comparing strings using double equal. So it means we should not comparing strings using the double equal operator. And it does suggest us something. So let's click the light bulb, and it suggests two options. Just go ahead and choose the simpler one, use equals. Okay, so it changes from double equal operator into a method dot equals mystery word in the brackets. So now we have everything finished. Let's try to run the game and see what happens. And this thing is slow as usual. I also deleted the retarded word because our game is actually getting better now. It's not as retarded as before. Pretty good sign. Okay, so finally it runs. Because we have two options here, two choices here, so we have to go for both way if we want to test the game. So first let's make a correct guess. I'm gonna say good guess, so this one's right. Let's have a wrong guess, it's unlucky. So that's it. We have our feature, our new feature, check users guess, ready and run. Okay, so we had our check users guess feature running, and it's pretty cool, right? But you know, we can use if else to do something else as well. For example, I really want you to try out to give the user a second chance in the game. And I want to give you a small hint if you haven't figured out yourself how to do it. That if the user's first guess is wrong, then let him or her try again. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a try. And our video here is pretty over because we don't have much time left. Next video I will introduce you to even more chances for our game. Very cool and new features with some new tools as well. And hope to see you in our next video, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.